Hey, it's Crystal and welcome to my channel. Sorry I did not post last week. I was just so tired during my days I usually want to film. And I don't know what was that about, but I was just too tired and I just did not want to overwhelm myself. But I have a video for you this week, which is today's video. I'm back on schedule. And it's before 8 o'clock in the morning now. Sun isn't completely up yet, so I have really good lighting right now. So I'm just going to head and do this video because I've been wanting to do this video for like the past 3 days. Today I want to talk about what is worth your money buying high-end versus the drugstore, because I think a lot of things you can just buy at the drugstore and save a lot of money versus going to like a high-end store like Sephora and maybe Ulta to get these products. Let's be honest, a lot of products, they kind of just do the same thing. You're really just paying for like the brand. Some variation like of colors and shade and tones and everything you're paying for that you might not get at one, but you might get another. So but that's about it. But I think there are some things that you can definitely just get at a drugstore and save a whole bunch of money, because even if you buy it high end, you're going to get the same results. The first thing I want to talk about are foundations. Now, I know foundations sometimes can, or a lot of times can be hard to find a shade, especially if you're like a deeper skin tones, because it's just so much variation. And I even didn't even realize how much of a variation until I tried to find a really good foundation that I want to use. Right here, I have D1 Neutral, and this is from About Face, which I actually do like this one. And then I have Maybelline Fit Me Dewy. This is Coconut 355. I don't think this is the right shade. It's kind of red. I'll talk about that in a minute. The other one I have, this is Sade. This is the Super Glowy Super Skin Lightweight Luminous Foundation, and this is in the shade 29. I went to Ulta because I thought that this was kind of looking kind of ashy on me for some reason. I was like, maybe I'm not really like a neutral person, because it gave like this really like grayish color that I did not like. I went to Ulta and I was like, hey, can you shade match me? She was like, sure. I was telling her that the lady, when I went to Sephora to get my concealer last time, because I didn't go to Sephora last time to get like a foundation, I just want like a couple like, you know, fossils, brushes, stuff like that. I told the lady, I was like, the lady said that I had like a reddish, yellowish undertone, and that's what she said. So I was like, well, I got this About Face D1 Neutral, but it gives me kind of like this grayish cash type of look a little bit. Like, I like it, but it's a little, I can see it. You may not be able to see it like on video or a camera, but I can see it in person, and I don't like it. But I really like this foundation because it's kind of oily and I have like really dry skin as of right now. So I want something a lot dewier. What I was using before this was actually Fit Me foundation. I was pairing Fit Me foundation with the NARS Cacao, I think that's how you pronounce it, the Deep 3 concealer, because the Fit Me I was using was a little too light, but it matched my undertone. It brought out that like golden yellowish whatever undertone I had. And then I was using the cacao to match like my melanin color. So I would put those two together and it would turn out so perfect. And I told the lady, I was like, I know people match their face to like their neck and then sometimes their chest, and my chest is a little bit lighter than like my face, but like some highlights of my face match my chest. So I was looking kind of crazy with like 2 different shades on me. But I was like, I always wear shirts where like I'm out, like my shoulders are out, my chest is out, all that out. I don't really cover up that much, like long sleeves and stuff like that. And I wear these, but even like my arms, like you can see like there's like this natural tan I've had since I was a child. So I was like, I'm trying to match everything without having to put these two together. So she matched me. And I was like, okay, cool. I bought the foundation that she put on me. I went home, didn't even open the foundation yet, but I went home, I looked in the mirror, and it was just gray. And I was like, this looks absolutely awful. And I looked old. Like, I was just like, what is going on? I took it back because I was like, I just didn't like it. I didn't like it. I didn't even open it. I didn't like it. And I went to Sephora and I just had them like shade match me. So I was trying to get the Anastasia Beverly Hills little balm thing. I asked the lady for help because I was like, I'm in these two middle shades, but I don't know which one actually matched me. I don't remember the numbers, but she was like, when she looked at it and she placed it on my face, she was like, ooh, you are actually, if this was a little bit like darker in between like this shade and this shade, then it'll be perfect. But they didn't have that. And then I told her what the lady told me was that I had like a yellow undertone and like a reddish. She was like, we got to get something that's closer that will match your face and your chest. 5 foundations later, we came up with Saeed. She had like 5 other people like look at me just to make sure. She was like, do you like this one? Because we had like 3 different foundations on me. She's like, you want this one or this one or this one? I think this one I had like glow. This was Saeed on my forehead. And then this was, I think this was Saeed, but it was like, instead of 29, it was like 30. So they did, oh, it's a 29 one. Because the one with glow, it matches, but it doesn't look like you put anything on your face. But then this one was fine. It looks like it actually like covers. And then this one was, they said it was too red. So I was like, okay. So I took this home and I've been wearing it and I liked it at first, but then I'm also knowing like this really weird, like gray cast. And I was like, you know what? I should have just stayed with my Maybelline. I always go back to Maybelline every single time. I should have stayed with Maybelline. I love Maybelline. I've been using Maybelline foundation since I was in high school when I was allowed to wear foundation. And I don't even remember the color of foundation of Maybelline Fit Me that I was using because I was for the longest time using the Mocha one. But then that's when I realized that my face didn't match my body. So I went up like a shade or two and I was using the second shade. And I realized when I put it on, I got so many compliments on like my foundation stuff, like out and about. And I noticed that it actually like matched my entire body, but I don't remember what it is. I don't think it was coconut. I was telling her about the yellowish undertone because I was like, I noticed in the mirror that I have like this yellow goldenish undertone when I just look at my face without foundation. When I don't have foundation on, my face and my chest and everything else kind of matches, but like it's not that stark of a difference. But when I put foundation on, it's a huge contrast. Like I can definitely see the difference. And I was like, I don't know what foundation. Maybe I just don't know how to shade match. Maybe nobody else knows how to shade match me either. Would I get this in the drugstore or high end? Personally, drugstore, because it would definitely have saved me a lot of money. And I knew what actually already matched me anyway, even if I had to mix it with another color. Because I know there are undertones, but I also think that there are different levels of undertone as well, so it's kind of hard to figure out what looks good, what doesn't, what actually matches, what doesn't. Definitely not neutral, because neutral is making this like gray cast. So I think I'm more like yellow, like the lady said, and a little red, like the lady said, which is why when I put a very yellow foundation for Maybelline that has a little bit more yellow to it, and this, which is obviously darker, that has a bit more red to it, put together, it's my perfect match. What I was trying to do was trying to find these 2 shades like that I usually put like mixed together in a bottle. If I can find a shade with these 2 shades mixed together in a bottle, it'll be my perfect shade. For me personally, it's better to get a foundation in a drugstore if you can find your shade. Foundations are not cheap. Like these are not cheap. Since we're on the topic of concealer, should you do drugstore or high end? So in my personal opinion, I think you get more variety with high end if you have a darker skin tone. So I would say high end for sure. So let's go on to the eyes. We're gonna start with eyebrow pencils and mascara. Honestly, you can get these at the drugstore. I would not necessarily spend your money at a high end unless it does something special, because I know that there are some mascaras that work a whole lot better than others. I have short lashes, but they are curly. It's just they're short, so you can't really see them. And mascaras, no matter what I do, it's my lashes are gonna look the same. Like, it's not gonna give it any length or anything. It's just gonna coat them. Some coats more than others, so maybe look like a tad bit fuller, but you're really not going to see my lashes unless you're like looking at me face to face. Honestly, I could just pick something up at the drugstore and get probably the same results. I know this is not a drugstore product, this is Tower 28, but I got this because it's supposed to be hypoallergenic. Like 10 years ago, I went to Ulta and I got this mascara, and it actually gave me like longer lashes. I don't know what was in it, but I couldn't use it because my eyes start watering and like burning, so I had to take it off because obviously I was having some kind of allergic reaction to it. But that was the best mascara I have ever used. But honestly, you can just use a regular mascara. You can save money and just get a mascara at the drugstore. Brow pencils, you can get at the drugstore. When it comes to gels, I would say to go with more of a high end because I think they have more variety, and they might not always have like the brow gels in the drugstore. I went to, I think, CVS, and they have like this section for brows, and it had like brow treatments. I don't know what it was called, but it had like brow treatments, a brow pencil, brow tints, but it didn't have like a brow gel. Like everything you need for a brow, but you're missing the brow gel to help your brows stay up. So I would definitely say more of high end to get your like brow gels, and there's different kinds. You can choose whatever you like, but definitely like the mascara and a pencil, like a brow pencil or a tint, you can get that at the drugstore. You get the same effect. Next, I'm gonna talk about eyeliners. Do not buy a high-end eyeliner. This is Maybelline. This is Skinny. I've been using this since it came out. This is my favorite and only favorite eyeliner. I like it because it's skinny and I like to tightline my waterline. No matter what black eyeliner you use, you're going to get the same effect. So get it at the drugstore. Do not get a high-end brand for a eyeliner. It's gonna go on black if you use black or brown, whatever color you use. It's gonna go in the same. It's gonna look the same no matter what. Okay, so next we're gonna go over to lips. So honestly, depending on what you're getting, if you just want a clear lip gloss, go to the drugstore. Do not get a high-end clear lip gloss. It's clear. It's gonna go on clear. It's gonna go in the same. This is Milani 100 Diamond. I haven't had a clear gloss, I feel like, in years, but I really want a clear gloss, so I got this one. This is what it looks like. And this is the color. But yeah, just go to the drugstore. Do not spend a whole bunch of money on a clear lip gloss because all clear lip glosses look the same. They're clear. Now, as for other colors, it depends what you want. So this one also picked up. I got this one at drugstore as well. This is Neutrogena. I don't know what this is. This is a Moisture Shine Lip Soother with sunscreen SPF. It's a cooling hydrogel in Glow 7. This is what it looks like. I got this because of the color. Like, I really liked the color on this. I would say get your lip glosses at the drugstore. It's a lot cheaper than buying high-end. I'm just be really honest. If you want a variety of colors, use NYX Cosmetics. They have a whole bunch of colors. They have great range of colors. And I just wouldn't spend my money on a high. Now, I would never say never because there might be something that comes out that I'm like, ooh, I really like this color. But as far as like consistently buying, it's definitely going to be drugstore lip products because you can, I'm not paying a whole bunch of money for some lip gloss. It's just lip gloss. Next, we're gonna go on with blushes and bronzers. So this is, I have Rare Beauty blush, and this is in the color Love. I have Too Faced. This is in the color Watermelon Rain. And I also have Juvia's Place. This is in Rouge. And then I have a bronzer, Juvia's Place Dark. I would say go more high end on these products because you get more variety, and quality does matter when it comes to these because not only do you get more variety of colors, but you also get more variety of like finishes. I think that's what it's called. This is a liquid blush. This is more of a powdery blush. And then Milani does have like a cream blush, you have cream blushes. Also, you have your bronzers, you have liquid bronzer, you have powder bronzer, but you just get a lot more variation and it's a lot more pigmented depending on like which brand you use. But I would say spend a little bit more money on your bronzers and your blushes so you can get more variety. But last thing I'm gonna talk about are eyeshadows. Get a high-end eyeshadow. Do not go to the drugstore, get your eyeshadow. It is not gonna last. It is not very pigmented. It doesn't do what it's supposed to do. You don't get that many colors, and the colors you do get, it's just not it. It took me a long time to get this. Like, I just got it a few weeks ago because of the price. And I was like, I'm not about to spend a whole bunch of money on some eyeshadow when I just get eyeshadow at the drugstore. But the quality of this is absolutely insane. This is like my first non-drugstore eyeshadow I've ever gotten. Like, even if I went to like Ulta to get some eyeshadow, I would never have gotten eyeshadow from any of the high-end brands because I was like, this is just too much money. But it's definitely worth it. Even like these colors, you could probably say you can get at the drugstore. They just don't go on the same. Like, they're pretty for like the first 5 seconds, and then like they kind of just fade away or disappear unless you have a really bright color. But who wants to wear bright colors all the time? I sure don't. So I'm glad that I got this. The color stays, it doesn't go anywhere. It does what it's supposed to do. The colors come out exactly as they are in this palette. I can definitely tell the difference between eyeshadow when it comes to drugstore versus high-end. Definitely say that you want to spend a little bit more money on your eyeshadows. But I would also say if you're going to spend a lot of money on your eyeshadows, make sure it's actually colors that you use often because these are expensive. But these are colors that these are the exact colors that I use, that I love to use all the time. And I know that I'm not going to waste my money just buying a palette with like 1 or 2 eyeshadows that I'm going to use. I'm at least going to use like 5 of them. So that is my opinion on drugstore versus high-end, what you should buy at the drugstore versus what you should spend a little bit more money on high-end brands. And yeah, so let me know your thoughts below. What do you think should be drugstore? What do you think should be high-end? I would love to know your thoughts as well. Thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.